Alright, welcome back. Got Fuel's Model Car Garage. I wanted to do one more quick video. The topic of airbrushes come up on my last Saturday's stream. And somebody else told me they had this is the Paasche Talon. This is actually the TC3, so it came with 3 needle nozzles, 3 needles, the fan cap. This is my Iwata Revolution CR, and I've recently purchased the Iwata Eclipse for the smaller 0.3 needle nozzle because this is a 0.5. And I explained on the live stream, in my live stream camera, it's not a great camera, as to why I disliked the Talon versus the Iwata. Both spray great, including my Eclipse. So, the Talon has a better trigger. And I want to do this here on this camera because this is a much better camera than my streaming camera. Alright, so here's the trigger in the Iwata. It's got this nipple piece that goes down into the air valve, the plunger. So, if for some reason you get sweaty, sticky, whatever, you've been in a long spray session, you're starting to get paint on you, when the needle is through here and you happen to lift up, if it sticks, it's going to stop by the needle, so the plunger is not going to come out. So now let's move over to the Talon. Oh, and I'm not a big fan either of how much you have to crank down on the nozzle to stop it from leaking. You really have to crank down on that nozzle. Alright, so now we got the needle out of here, or the needle, the trigger. So the trigger on this one has an opposite design. You know, hopefully that's, you can see right at the end of the trigger, there we go, there's a tiny little dimple, and it's not very deep, that sits down. Hopefully you can see it in there. See if we get some light on a, yep, there we go, on a very small nipple down in there. It's very small, it's not very tall. So when you have the trigger on the air valve, you got the travel that you're supposed to have, and the needle goes through carefully. Oh, come on. You got the needle goes through. So when you're in a long spray session, you get sweaty, you get sticky, maybe get some paint on you. The valve, the trigger, will come off. You can see how little travel that is. The valve will come, the trigger will come off, and you can see it doesn't stay in place. So all of a sudden, you know, I'm sitting here pushing the trigger, and I'm like, why don't I have any air? And then I've got to, with gloves on, paint everywhere, I've got to try to pick this up and get it set onto the valve. The spray pattern I do like on this airbrush, but I absolutely despise this trigger. Despise it. I'm not the only one. Somebody else in the YouTube community I was in a live stream with a while back ago said he had the same one. He's got the same issue. Somebody else commented in the chat that it's not supposed to be that way. Well, I've chatted with a couple people in Facebook groups, and they have the same airbrush and have the same problem. And that's why I do not like the Paasche Talon. Thank y'all for watching. Got Fuels, Motor Car Garage.